you shouldn't aim to LARPers to attract LARPers. Because if you attract them as LARPers, they will complain, whine, require something, and so on. But LARPers also, besides hiring them time to time, renting from them, for example, costumes and stuff, you also can organize events for them and for them as well. For example, I organize game developers conferences and different other events, tournaments, and LARPers, they also like to participate in show-off and stuff like that. So balls, we have a whole culture of balls sprang from LARP society, and now we do balls, and it's actually a profitable thing because a lot of people want to come to some kind of castle and to have their beautiful dress and to dance there. It also brings business. And main source of people who do these costumes often LARPers, because to professional costume makers in some countries, doing historical costumes is not very profitable, because usually people are very sensitive about details and they want to pay least possible. And in professional costume making, it's a very every hour is counted, so it's not very successful if you focus on that. Okay, products. You can produce something. A lot of people in Ukraine, for example, who went pro with LARP, they basically have their own production of different inventory of costumes, scripts, scenography, crafts, or for example, IT, soft, and so on. And working in that area, we have already bases. We, for example, create a certain world, and we produce specially props for that world for all willing they can buy it and participate. So these, in some areas, they thrive. Also, you need to remember that every country is different, and the same strategy may not work. In some places, you can do business normally. In some countries, you have to have official approval. In some countries, one simple word, for example, if you put word culture or whatever, it changes the perspective, and you have to have additional official to give you agreement. So be very sensitive about it. Also try to attract partners from abroad who went higher, and they can give you support on a higher level. Not just blockbuster LARPs, the entertainment LARPs, but bring specialists from different areas: psychology, investigation, military. I have a friend who has a combo breaker company. He's a pro game developer, and not many people know about him here. But he's Finnish, and he has a lot of like Ministry of Defense contracts and simulations. So he basically works with them a lot, and he can. But he doesn't have this blockbuster products. So it's interesting that successful person and quality person is not necessarily famous person. Officials, they don't trust fame often, but they trust status, and that really helps you if you can attract someone. If you don't know anyone in your country, attract someone from abroad, from the countries they respect. No. Okay, LARP as entertainment, it's the first thing we're coming to. LARP as entertainment has absolutely different strategy than in the LARP society. And these are pictures from wargaming, you know the game World of Tanks. 3 months after one of my startup company LARP projects, they invited me to their birthday, and suddenly the project became profitable. And in one day we went up, and our shares went up. But the thing is that in one day 700 people participated in our game, and they all enjoyed it. And we didn't have any advertisement. So often it's more of a quality not to go from person to person, especially when market is not developed. Go to official company, from official company. And it's nice to have people who use other languages, for example, HRs, for example, business educators, who introduce it into their company, use you once, and then you will have a wonderful partner who already been your client, and when you show it to someone, will you call it LARP? Will you call it dancing? Will you call it BDSM? But if you have clients, like for example my company, first two clients at least usually Wargaming, because it's a huge company in Belarus, and National Academy of Science of Republic of Belarus. People understand that's something serious people are looking into. And no matter what your name is, of course, yes, and Klaus and many said that it's better to change your name, but it's better to change the name of the product if you start from the bottom. You can form the acceptance of the product if you start from the top. Write few articles about it scientifically in main journals, ask someone to make an interview and mention it, and then officials will pull it through. Anyway, every LARP company will have to invent their own name to be different among the others. They will have to invent their own strategy, because if they all will be similar, it will suck probably, because in time there will be even more companies. They will see how you went on and they will copy you, and that will be not very good. There are too much text. My assistant decided to put it. Okay, the entertainment, I broke it. It's not academic division. I broke it as we break it in my office when we discuss what kind of game we're having. In entertainment, I break it in 4 different types of games. Corporate, when you hire to someone, to some company to have an entertainment for them. It's the most profitable there is at the start. Regular games are awesome because you can form a community with them, and if you have a community, your game never depletes. Regular games is when you have 2 games every week, no matter what. And people come to it, and you get community, and you develop scenarios for it to go on, and finally it becomes more profitable, because if you have regular games, you can build a franchise out of your company and sell the rights to organize LARPs in different other cities. And soon it will be a huge chain of different, huge or not huge, but it would be a chain of different divisions, which makes regular LARPs in different cities, in different countries. And in the long run, it would be more profitable than even corporate. But it will give you a lot of advertisement as well. I would advise everyone to look into community management. It's a very important new field of marketing and business strategy, which works now better than any other. Even PR, even advertisement are weaker than community management. If you form a community supports you. They invent how to advertise you. They invent lore. They invent crafts. They already do stuff with your symbols, and they promote you because they are interested in your project and they live with it. And sometimes it's also a great source of workers, because from the community you can get PR managers, community managers, you can get those like NPCs and so on. They actually themselves grow into your company and they live within it. It's really good. And PoRtaL is when you organize a game and you sell tickets. Like for example, what we call blockbuster games. Well, we organize a game in English and or in Russian or whatever, and we sell tickets to it. It's a popular game because we usually try to use popular topics to attract attention, so it will be sold out. And elite games, they are organized, and you already know who will be your players. Elite games could be organized also almost as a corporate, but for a group of people. For example, for a club of owners of businesses, for businesses, games which will have to be the top of the notch. These games, the most the most demanding from you. You will have to do everything perfect, because people at elite games, they will be the biggest experts. And this how actually this classification developed through also development of the taste of a LARPer. On first two, you can invite people who don't know what LARP is. They just want to have fun, spend the evening. And this why, at first when you start, you might think about making a LARP which is simple, not very long, and people can start playing right away. Just taking a character, reading it, just short instruction, and right there. Later on, don't worry about it. You're not betraying your LARPer soul, heart, and aesthetics. People will grow in taste. They will grow. Some of them will develop the taste for a role-playing part, and they will demand from you some other games, and they will go into next level. They would want to go to popular games. They will buy more expensive tickets. They will spend more time to prepare for the game, and later on they will form the elite consumers of your games. Those who always buy what you sell. Those who already form the demand, and they write to you, please create a game about this, or you offer them, guys, I have this game. It's like in LARPer calendar, if some countries have it, but you don't ask LARPers, you ask consumers, what do you want? Or I have this idea, I can make it. And they say, oh wonderful, we trust you and we will play you, and everything already sold out. It's like drugs actually. From light, cheap, to expensive and really strong. LARP in education. LARP in education also one of the most developed in research. LARP first academia which we got in LARP about LARP and historically is in education, because education has been there for all eternity. And LARP in education also could be broken into different fields. LARP education for children, school education, preschool education, it has separate demands. And children are the best target market to start with. Why? Because actually, if you want to learn how to work with client T, you need to work with parents of these children. If something is wrong, if someone is not happy, these parents can tell you everything in your face. And you need to learn how to not talk back to the police. You need to learn how to negate these conflicts with children, even though you might get in jail if you're too unprofessional. But if you work on the LARP for children,